A wild animal is trapped, dying of fear, and a human is walking straight toward it. Every instinct it has screams one word: run. But it can't. It's caught in a net, a snare, a wall of rope, and then something impossible happens. It stops fighting, it goes still, and it turns toward the human. It watches, it waits, almost like it knows. So here's the question scientists still can't answer. Do wild animals know when we're trying to help them? Start with what happens inside its body. It's worse than you think. The moment a wild animal can't move, its body floods. Cortisol, adrenaline at levels that would kill it in minutes. Its heart rate doubles, then doubles again. And one study found something staggering. Animals caught in fencing show higher stress hormones than animals that had been shot. Higher than being shot. So now a human walks toward it. The animal doesn't see a rescuer, it sees a predator, arriving at the worst possible moment. Its brain reads this instantly, the final seconds of a hunt. That's why they thrash harder the closer you get. They're spending their very last energy fighting for their life. But then, in some of these encounters, the fighting just stops. Not from exhaustion, something more deliberate. The locked body softens, the panic drains away, and the animal orients toward the human and holds still. In 2005, a fisherman found a humpback whale off San Francisco, tangled in ropes. 12 crab traps, 90 pounds each, are dragging her under. 4 divers slipped into the water with knives, knowing one flick of her tail could kill them. She stopped moving the instant they entered the water. For over an hour, the 50-ton animal held perfectly still, while strangers cut ropes across her body. And here's the part that gives people chills. She repositioned herself, rolling, shifting a fin, to give them better access. Why would she do that? Scientists think it comes down to pattern recognition. A predator moves fast, direct, aggressive. That's the one pattern a trapped animal's alarm system is built to detect. But a human trying to help moves wrong, slow, no sudden moves, touching the trap, not the animal. The brain searches its entire library of threats and finds nothing that matches. And with no pattern to react to, the panic stalls. The animal just waits. In Yellowstone, a wolf was caught in a trap. It snapped at every approach, exactly what biology predicts, until one researcher stopped and held its gaze without looking away. A predator closing in to kill doesn't hold steady eye contact. So this didn't compute. After a few minutes, the wolf stopped lunging. It sat down, and it held the eye contact back. It watched their hands work. And when the trap opened, it looked at the researcher and walked into the trees. Researchers have a careful name for this: suspension of threat response. The alarm doesn't switch off. It just loses what it was hunting for. But then comes the harder question. What happens after the animal is free? Because that whale, once the last rope was cut, she didn't just leave. She swam in slow circles around the divers. Then came to each one and gently nudged them one by one. One diver called it gratitude. Scientists are careful with that word, but humpbacks have spindle neurons, the same rare brain cells found in humans, apes, and elephants. The cells tied to empathy. She has the wiring for it. Whether she used it that day, we can't know. And elephants pulled from mud pits? They've been filmed reaching back, touching their rescuers with the tip of their trunk, an organ with 40,000 muscles, as sensitive as your fingertips. That's not a random touch. That's an examination. Some elephants even stay, standing near the humans who freed them. For minutes, the threat is gone. They're free. There's no survival reason to remain. And yet they stay. So, do they know? The honest answer is we don't. What we can measure is this: certain animals genuinely lower their guard when a calm human works nearby. And some, once freed, do things that serve no purpose at all, except maybe connection. What we can't reach is what it feels like from the inside. What that wolf thought at the tree line. What the whale felt moving between the divers in the cold. Or whether we keep finding meaning in these moments. Because we are animals too, running pattern recognition. And the pattern we keep finding is ourselves. The scientists who study this most closely leave the question open. The animals never answer it. And if you want to see the wild animal that chose to trust a human, it was never supposed to trust. That story is waiting for you next.